Hey guys, so welcome back to Pandas Data Diaries. Today I want to focus on Python's format method. I want to go over some examples and also discuss the syntax, which is rather confusing if you're not working with it a lot. So first of all, focusing on the vanilla format method and the basic syntax. So you have double quotes or single quotes. Inside of the quotes, you have curly braces and then dot format. And in parentheses, you add the values that you actually want to print inside the curly brace. So for example, let's load this list here, which has a string 1, string 2, and an integer, and iterate over this list using the enumerate function and printing out the results. So as you see here, we are printing in here, the first curly brace is printing the counter, and the second curly brace is printing the actual value. So we have a 0 and then string 1, 1, string 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, nothing special until now. I guess you will know this basic usage, but let's move on to actually dealing with numerical output and what the format method can do over here. So we have the option to define the precision and also display floats as percentages. For example, this is the syntax. You use a colon and then a dot, and dot signifies precision. And after the dot, you add the amount of digits you want to display. For example, here we have 2. And you can also add type specifiers such as the fixed point specifier, which is F, or the percentage specifier, which enables you to change the format of the output. So let's run this over here and see what it does. So we have a float 0.55678, and when you just use the vanilla output, and I just added a line break over here, the \n, it will show as 0.55678. But when you add the .2 and an F behind it, what it does is it gives you the output as rounded to the second digit after the floating point. So you have here 0.5 and it's a 6. So this has been rounded up. And don't forget to set the F over here, because else the 2 refers to the entire value and not just the values behind the floating point. So it's got to be a 2 and then the F. And if you want to display the float as a percentage, there's a shortcut. So you can just add the percentage specifier behind the precision, and it will do the calculation for you and just print out as 55.68%. So this is really useful if you don't want to do the small calculation yourself. Okay, so moving on, you can also use the R modifier with an exclamation mark before it. So the syntax is displayed over here, curly braces, exclamation mark, and R, and then the rest stays the same. So what does it do? Let's print out this part here. You see, I'm just iterating over this list, and there's one thing to note. So for the integer, it's printing as normal, but for the strings, it's adding the single quotes around them. Why is that? Because the exclamation R modifier, what it does in the background is it's using the wrapper function. So this function here, which basically displays the objects, the Python objects, as in their literal format. So for strings, we'll display them with the quotes around them, whereas other values such as floats and integers don't have quotes around them, so they're displayed as normal. This can be super useful when you want to display a SQL query, for example, and you want to print out the values with the quotes around them, which is required by the syntax. So you can just use this exclamation mark R modifier to do that. Okay, moving on, you can also use this in combination with a position index. So as you see over here, this is a special syntax. So basically, again, using the exclamation mark R, but in front of them, we have the position index. So let's see in this example what it does, printing it out. So I'm adjusting the position of strings in the output. So example, and over here, you see that I mixed up the numbers. So we have 1 over here, 2 over here, and 0 over here. Whereas in the actual format parameters, I'm using the standard order, which is 0, 1, 2. But as you see over here, when I print this, it is mixing up this order based on the position index over here. So it's displaying value 1 in first position, as here's the 1, value 2 in second position, as here's 2, and value 0, since it's zero-based indexing in Python, at the end. So I can flexibly change the order of the output. And this position index can be useful when you want to print out the same value multiple times, for example. You could just reuse the same position index, or you need to modify the order of the output. And you can just do this by adding the number before the R modifier. So as you see over here, I'm not using the R modifier, and the string is printed without the quotes around it. So this is flexible to be combined as you wish. Okay, and moving on to the final section, filling and alignment. So this is a rather special syntax that you might not be using a lot. Over here, as you see, we have again the colon, and then we can add a filling placeholder. So it can be anything here, but could be any other character apart from a curly brace. And then I can define the alignment, which is here with the greater than or less than or the caret symbol. And let me show you what it will do. So for example, I'm printing out these things here. And as you see, the first one, I'm just using the vanilla output, so nothing's happening, string 1. And for the second one, I'm defining, first of all, the asterisk as the padding symbol. And over here, I'm saying this is to be right aligned using this symbol, and saying that the width should be 20. So it will use the placeholder, the filling symbol here, to fill up the space until the 20th character is reached. So you can use this for some nice layouting, basically. I can also define the alignment as a right aligned. So I'm using this symbol over here, and you see the string now is displayed to the right-hand side. Others stay the same. And the last one, I'm using the caret symbol over here, which prints out justified, or like a center alignment of the string. Yeah, that's all that I wanted to show you today. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it. Talk to you next time.